this was something that was brought up in conversation as a potentially good topic. And
Hmm.
it was um I guess Hispanic slash Latinos saying the N-word. And specifically being in places like, for instance, the Heights, not being able to speak English properly, but they definitely know that word and just spew it. So I brought that to you. And yes, like you said, he thought it was dumb at first. And literally 5 minutes later, wait a minute, that's actually a good topic. I personally feel like I don't like anybody saying it because as humans, we have like a sheep mentality. If enough people are doing something, everybody's gonna follow just because everybody else is doing it. I think we all know that for a fact. So I know that it would take a collective effort, and it's obviously like an out of reach request. But if we, who are the ones that are deemed, I don't want to say the word because, if we are the ones that are deemed that word, the N word, if we took ownership of it in the sense of not as a term of endearment, but as a term of you're not going to use this against me because when you're using it, it sounds like it's coming from a racial point of view, like you're superior to me. Then I feel like people would eventually stop seeing like the what am I trying to say? They wouldn't see the appeal. That's what I'm trying to say. They wouldn't see the appeal in using the word because they're trying to be a part, either they're trying to be a part of the culture, they're trying to use it as a term of endearment as well. Like here in New York, it's like, oh, it's a New York thing. That shouldn't be. I personally feel like that should not be the case. You should not be able to walk around and say it because it's a quote unquote New York thing. But then not across the board. Obviously, not every Latino or Hispanic feels this way, but we know for a fact that there are those that feel superior to the ones that they are calling the N word. So you're making faces, so you can go ahead. I'm done.
No, I was trying to understand. Are you saying that uh when Hispanics use when they say nigga that they're saying it with kind of a derogatory meaning behind it, or are you saying that they use it in the context that African Americans use it, which is it's just like uh you know
I'm saying
colloquial
both.
language?
I'm saying both. The only problem is there's a thin line between love and hate. There's a thin line between endearment and racist in the sense of, yeah, you could be saying it because you're comfortable in the environment that you're in, but God forbid you go around the wrong person who doesn't feel the same way, and you're not understanding of the fact that they have that set boundary and you're crossing it. You may not intend to cross it, but now you've crossed it. And then now you're both offended because you're just like, well, I didn't mean it that way, but they're taking it a different way. So I personally feel like it's one of those things that should just be thrown out altogether to avoid this even being a topic, honestly. But
Thrown
like
out
I said, that's
altogether,
a
even amongst black people, right?
yes.
Okay, so
Personally, yes.
yeah, so my thoughts on the N word have always been not always, but as of I don't say nigga like in my day to day.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the word that I use. Now, when we talk about the word nigga, I say the word. I feel like saying
Mm-hmm.
N word is just the word exists, so we can say the word.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Black people who get upset when other groups of people say nigga, to me, I'm perplexed by. Look, I understand why they get upset. I just don't understand why they think things should be different. If that makes sense, like
Expound.
you'll have black people who believe that only blacks should be able to say the word nigga because you know it's our word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if you kind of take a word that used to be a racial slur, you quote unquote reclaim the word, you put the word in all of your music, you put the word in all of your TV shows, you put the word in all of the movies that
Mm-hmm.
all of those forms of entertainment so, excuse me, all of those forms of entertainment are then exported to the masses. Everyone is digesting this as, oh, this is kind of, you know, a cool slang to use. It becomes
Right.
slang instead of a racial slur.
Right.
And so when we have this thing, well, you know, because I've heard black people who have an issue with Hispanics saying the word nigga, and they'll say, well, we don't, you know, use the word, right? We
It
out here
doesn't carry
saying, you
the
know,
same weight.
but exactly. These other demographics are not trying to repurpose their slurs. And so you
Exactly.
can't compare the use of the word nigga by other groups who are not black to the reverse, because they are not trying to repurpose their own racial slur. We are.
You know what's funny too? As you're like breaking this down, I'm thinking about the whole Erica Mena situation,
Mm-hmm.
and I find it funny or interesting, rather, not funny. I find it interesting that that is the only term, racial slur, that has been turned into a term of endearment. Not
Yeah, nothing else.
not
Not
a single
not
word else.
yeah, not not
Even only like pertaining to us. Like think about the word monkey. Like to this day we've been called monkeys for however long, but to this day it still carries some type of weight. But the only word that seems to be like on the fence is that word. I just can't say it. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Me personally, I don't use it.
I know what you're
uh
saying. I think we should get rid of the word. I don't think it's a term. It's a term of endearment, really. And I used to say nigga all the time in high school, even when I first got to college. Maybe what?
are we agreeing on something for people to hear?
Well, yeah, but this is an obvious point, though. Yeah. I feel like you have to be a moron to disagree with this. Like you,
Oh dang.
like I used to use the word all the time, but I always was uncomfortable with using the word in certain settings, which so many people aren't. Like I wouldn't use the word in front of old people. I wouldn't use the word like you know, if I was on public transportation in front of
Oof.
like white people. So I think somewhere deep down I wouldn't use it at home, really. Uh so
Get smacked up.
I think I never really believed in the repurposing of the word. So my use of the word in high school, in my early years, my teenage years, was just the word just had no meaning to me. It was just kind of a slang. It was just, you know, and you just use the word, and that's kind of how you refer to people. But I think it's ridiculous to get mad at Hispanics for saying nigga. If like either you repurposed the word or you didn't. Like
Yeah.
if you repurposed it and it is a term of endearment, then I don't understand why you would be offended if somebody else used the word who is non-black. If according to
Mm-hmm.
you, the word doesn't mean anything as pertains to black people anymore. It just means my friend.
Right.
If you truly believe that, what is the uproar about? You don't believe that. You believe deep down somewhere that you shouldn't use the word. And I'll tell you something else. Something else. The obsession over ownership of that word
Mm.
is due to the fact that it is the one thing black people think we can own because we don't think we can own anything else.
Ooh, wow. That's deep. I agree
That
with you.
yeah,
I
that's
agree
my
with you.
suspicion. Is
That's big.
it
Wow.
yeah it's there's this obsession of owning the word because we don't believe deep down as a collective group of people that we could ever really own anything else. We can't own an industry. We can't own you know certain networks. We can't
Mm-hmm.
own anything, buildings, real estate, but we can own this word. And so I feel like if
And
we
even
believe we
that,
can own other things, we wouldn't give a fuck about this word.
I like that point. I
So
can't. I'm right there with you. That
that's how I feel.
honestly, yeah, nothing else to be said on
Yeah,
it.
that's how that's how I feel. Uh, Now, are there contexts where because I've heard Asians use the N word, I've heard white people use the N word. I never get upset really. Like it doesn't bother me at all. Well, let me stop. It it slightly annoys me, but
Mhm.
it never gets me out of character or anything because once again, we have given license to everyone to use the word. Like, what do these people think happens when these rap shows, which are 90% white, and these rappers got, nigga all through the song? You be hearing the crowd recite the lyrics? Those ain't black
Mhm.
people. Those ain't black. What do y'all think is happening?
That's so
Like,
valid.
let's be for real here. I just don't understand the way people look at this.